Welcome everyone to another episode of Bryno's World. This week it's another culinary experiment. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to be making some beef jerky flavored in the style of Cincinnati chili or skyline chili. I've had this idea for a while and, well, now it just seemed like a good time to do it. So, since I got the beef already and I have all these spices that I need, my idea was to take a couple recipes I've seen online for Cincinnati style chili or skyline chili copycats, create a spice and herb bill based on all that, just incorporate the dry ingredients, maybe some wet ones with the beef as it dehydrates, and hopefully come up with something that tastes like the product that we get so much at Skyline a lot, or Gold Star depending on where you go. So let's get started and make some Cincinnati style beef jerky. So first things first, as usual, we've started with 2 pounds of very, very lean ground beef. And the first ingredient we're going to put in is some brown sugar. Up next is a generous amount of onion powder, followed by a generous amount of chili powder, obviously. And it's at this point I'm going to add a couple of liquid ingredients. First, some apple cider vinegar, and our familiar Worcestershire sauce. Now we're getting into some ingredients that are exclusive to Cincinnati style chili. First is cocoa powder, although rumor has it that it's actually not a real ingredient in skyline chili, but it's in a lot of recipes out there, so I'm including it anyway. A more common ingredient, some garlic powder. Another unique ingredient, some cinnamon, a little bit of cumin, and because this is jerky, I'm going to be adding some curing salt as well. Next, some cayenne pepper, some allspice, and lastly some ground cloves. I think we can safely call that the most strange and bizarre bill for herbs and spices for a jerky ever. So, let's mix it up. I'm mostly curious how the chopped cocoa is gonna. Oh my god, the cocoa, I can smell that already. Although overall it kinda smells a teensy bit like skyline chili. I think it's mostly right now the cocoa that's got the weird smell to it. So we have to mix this up really, really well. Okay, I'd call it sufficiently mixed up enough. Now I'm going to cover this and put it in the fridge. And now I'm going to let it sit in the fridge for a couple hours and then make some jerky out of it. Okay, the jerky meat has been in the fridge resting for about 4 hours now, and I'm gonna put it into strips. Yes, I'm gonna do strips this time, as I think that that makes it a little bit more looking like jerky. Plus, a change we're gonna make from last time is I'm not gonna smoke it, I'm just gonna plain old dehydrate it at 160 degrees for around 6-7 hours, or overnight in this case. So let's put some meat into strips. Okay, the jerky is squeezed into the trays on my dehydrator. One thing I think I've learned from this recipe at least is I put 2 tablespoons of liquid, 1 each of apple cider vinegar and Worcestershire sauce. That may have been too much for this. The meat was very, very squishy and juices were dripping all over the table and onto the floor. Clean it up later. So if I had to do this in the future, I probably would reduce that amount, but it's in the trays now and it's going to dehydrate, so I will do that overnight, about 160 degrees for 7 hours. Set temperature for 160. Set time for 7 hours. And there we go. Now we'll wait until tomorrow. Or for you in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's been about 12 hours since I put the jerky into the dehydrator. It's done. So let's pull it out and see what we got here. Okay, so that's what the jerky looks like after I put it in the dehydrator for 8 hours. It's had some time to cool down a bit. It smells kind of strange. It kind of smells like maybe a stronger version of Cincinnati chili. I deliberately cut down on the ingredients to make sure it wasn't so strong, but maybe it is. Only one way to find out, and that's to taste it. Alright, pull a piece here. Oh my god, this feels kind of dry, which makes me wonder if I dehydrated it for too long. It breaks apart kind of easily, which is also not totally desirable, but again, this is my little experiment, so just learn some lessons here before trying it again. But anyway, let's get to some tasting. Here we go. Cincinnati chili style beef jerky. Cheers. The more I chew this, the more I'm getting the Cincinnati chili flavor. Two thoughts are coming to mind immediately. First, I think I've nailed down the flavor profile. It takes maybe about a few seconds or two for me to get the full flavor of the Cincinnati chili. I mean, while it's not exactly like Skyline, obviously, it's close enough to Cincinnati chili that you know what you're eating. The second bit is, I think I dehydrated that for way too long. It's very, very, I won't say very chewy, but it's definitely dry. Very dry. Maybe a little too dry. Normally I dehydrate it for 6 hours, but sometimes I get a little bit nervous about whether it's cooked all the way through. But I definitely overdid it here. But that should be an easy lesson to learn for the next time. Maybe just drop the time to 6 hours before I start doing stuff. And reducing the liquid, as I mentioned last time as well. Again, the flavor I think is very close. It's just that it's way too dry. I'm wondering if there's a way that I can semi-rehydrate this stuff. Not, obviously not fully, but just enough to the point where this is a little more chewy, maybe a little bit more, a little easier to chew. But just a teeny bit. But other than that, I think flavor-wise, I'm really on something here. Just next time I make this stuff, just don't dehydrate it for as long. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Bryno's World. Thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if obviously you liked it. Leave a comment. I'll try to respond to them. Subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified. All that wonderful stuff. You know the drill. Once again, thanks for watching. Have yourself a good one.